any videos that you get from like OBS or Facebook Live, Instagram, and all that normally records in variable, they'll be able to recognize it, because usually if a video records in variables, they'll have to get the video. You'll have to get it and figure out a way to render it to constant, because it needs it to constantly go, otherwise the frames will drop or whatever. I don't know if that makes any sense to y'all, but well, DaVinci Resolve Free doesn't do that. So I had everything set up, did my intro, and put the video on there, and then it said, and then the audio recognized it. I'm like, usually if a video record, the video was playing, but the audio wasn't playing. So they'll have maybe something I did to get re-rendered it, still audio wouldn't play. So I looked it up online. It turns out DaVinci Resolve Free doesn't recognize Facebook Live video. So they gave me a fix, whatever. So it took me a minute to figure out where, because it's not like a Final Cut and Adobe, which they have like thousands of videos you can just easily find. So I had to go type it in until I found the video that actually gave me the fix. So when this is over, I'll be able to finally upload it. 'Cause I was trying all night yesterday. I was like, why can't the video work? The sound. I was like, I'm doing everything right. It should. And I was like, this is pitiful. I was getting mad because all I was supposed to do is come home and just put it together and upload it. And audio wasn't playing. I was like, you got to be kidding me. But yeah, so
we
got the fix.
On YouTube as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boom, live. Y'all just learned how to make videos. What's up?
Facebook. Unless did you turn it off?
No, we're live on Facebook and YouTube. I had to cancel the other one because this one's going.
Oh, okay.
I guess I could have kept the other one going too. I don't know. Should I? I don't know.
Just make sure we were still live.
Just editing the.
What is happening?
All right.
What is happening?
Get re-rendered it.
What are you talking about, Ray?
I'm not seeing it live on Facebook now.
It's on Facebook. I got it pulled up right now.
Okay. What I'm telling you is, let's see.
Because you're watching the wrong one.
No, it's doing that thing again. Let me. There it is, right there.
Hey, there's a GTA cool. Sorry,
it still says Outriders on it too. We gotta learn how to fix that.
I don't know why it does that.
All right, cool. All right, since we live, I'm gonna get this thing going. Welcome back to the Get Down. I, of course, am your boy, the Hammer, and I got my two co-hosts. Gerald, let them introduce themselves real quick, because we've got some things to talk about, and I got games going with sound and everything else. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves real quick.
I'm your boy Snake.
I'm Mingo D. Like that. That's cool.
Yeah. And as y'all can see, we're playing a little GTA Online while or we talk about gaming, we gotta get a little nerdy with it and play a little few games and whatnot. So I guess I'm gonna hop right into it. We'll start off with the minor news. To me, I thought it was the minor news, and it's kind of a discussion point, and I want to get my boys' opinions on it. There was a release today. It says that there is a possibility that Steam games might be coming to console. Now, when I first heard it, I thought like, oh, they're just gonna try to get some of the, a few basic games or PC games and port them over. Which I mean, most of these will be ports because they don't. I mean, what else are they gonna be? But then I got to thinking about it, and the more they talked about it, I was like, the way the consoles are now, man, they're basically mid-tier computers. They're not the high-end computer, but they're about mid-tier. They can handle some of the less intensive games that would be like on a PC. It would be on Steam, And another thing I thought about, and this is what I'm really gonna get y'all's opinion on, is the fact that they're talking about doing the Steam games coming over to PC or coming over to console. You know how many games that are on Steam that are actually VR ready, that are VR games? Like, I think it could, I personally feel like it could bust the door wide open for more VR. I mean, I want to get y'all's opinion on that, but that's kind of what I think. What do y'all think? Do you think that, VR has been right there anyway? It's right there on the cusp. But do you think if Steam really does this, do you think it pushes it over and really drops VR into the laps of console players?
Yeah. More so, PlayStation guy. More so PlayStation at the moment. Maybe Switch, but we'll talk about that another time because Switch has a lot of catching up to do. But because PlayStation, as we know, they're the Sony. They're the only ones we know that has a dedicated VR workstation, if you want to say. And I know that they're trying to, and I know that they're improving their workstation and getting the visor and the headset and the controllers and all that. As far as the being with the console. So I know. So yeah, I think that when Steam games, whether they're ported over or if they're automatically, found on whatever store that they're put on all the consoles or whatever, I think it'll be an easy, like I said, especially PlayStation, to kind of put it on. I would also say I think it would be easy for Microsoft as well because I know Facebook has a monopoly over the Oculus, but I think Microsoft still works with HTC, and then also they still have the Halo lens. Who knows? They might be able to integrate the Halo lens with VR some type of way. It might not even be that hard, honestly. Knowing Microsoft, and they might be able to. They might actually say we're coming out with our own dedicated Microsoft VR Halo something, and not only can you do VR with it, but you could also do the same properties or at least a few of the properties of augmented reality, and then they change the game. So who knows? I mean, and then who knows? Maybe Nintendo will finally jump in on that. Maybe they had those little cardboard things or whatever. Maybe they'll finally decide to actually step up and actually make something for real.
What is that thing called? It's called Labo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who knows? They might actually do it for real this time. So who knows?
Speaking of Nintendo and Labo, which when I saw that and saw how much they were charging for cardboard, I couldn't help but laugh. I was like, bruh, you cannot be serious. This is cardboard y'all charging for. People went out and bought that stuff, bro.
Yeah.
First of all, my kids are destructive. So if I was to go out and buy cardboard and they tear this shit up, I'd be so mad. So mad ain't even a term, bro. I'd be ready to hurt somebody. They tore up this damn cardboard that I paid like $40 for. You got to be shitting me. But people ate that shit up, man. They were buying that stuff. But I think to what you said, I think you do have a point, and it is interesting that you said that because the place where I saw this, the source, they had a switch on the front of that's the thumbnail. They had like a switch there, and it was talking about Steam games on console. So and with Switch being what it is, it would kind of make sense if they used the Labo. They probably could use Labo and get away with it,
Yeah.
It's like, I can't, man. I hope that's not the case. I'm gonna laugh if it is, 'cause I ain't buying that. But
Nope.
if that's the case, I'd be like, you know what, man, good job, y'all. Y'all did that because there is no way in hell, there's no way in hell that I would
Yeah.
think that that would be okay to do. Like, period.
Yeah. I know I'm excited for it because there was this one game, man. I was so excited for it, and let me tell you how excited I was. Bro, I was so excited for this game. I can't even remember the name of the game at the moment right now, but I was so excited to where other than what happened with Division, I really believe that this would have been the game that 100% pushes me over to playing with friends fully. Now, let me tell you why. It was a Western game where the dude goes in and he was like fighting like werewolves and creatures, and you had to like get this stuff, and you have to extract this stuff, kind of like doing the vision. You have to extract the bounty or whatever you get, and then you have to take it to this thing, to whatever thing you have to take it to, and you have to like get a summoning or something like that to get it extracted out. Kind of like how the vision gets stuff extracted out with the airplane. When that happens, it alerted the other players because it was a straightforward PvP, PvEP. I think I'm saying that right. And in the games, other players can come in and fight you or whatever, and at the same time, you fighting creatures and monsters, and it was very streamlined, and it worked very well. And I was like, that's the game. I want that game. I want to play it. I can't remember the name of the game. If anybody knows the name of the game, let us know. But then they said, oh, it's only going to be on PC. It's coming to Steam. And I was like, no, I wanted it to come to PlayStation. I wanted it to come to Xbox. Never came. I was so mad. I was like, that was going to be the game. It looked good, it played good, and it was just automatically like that. You get in and you got to do your stuff. I'm not sure if it was like one-on-one, or if it was like 2-on-2 or like a whole team. I think it was a team at one point. I'm not even sure, but I know that game was amazing. And I wanted to play that. So, and with that, you also got the VR Half-Life game that came out not so long ago that only went to Steam. So if they bring all that, that'll be dope. And then, they probably will make a John Wick game for me, on VR. I'll play that. I don't know how that'll work, but I'll play it.
Right.
Whatever.
Right. So. No, I agree. And, as far as the other two consoles, PlayStation and Xbox, I don't see why it would be extra difficult because PlayStation already has PlayStation VR. And then Microsoft, all they got to do is plan this, or which one is it that they bought the rights to? They bought the rights to a VR headset to be able to continually make it. You just stop playing like you don't want to use it on a piece, on a console. Go ahead and make it for the console. You had Kinect for years. It shouldn't be that hard to integrate the VR headset to the Xbox. And then, and you got it. So I think it potentially could be pretty cool. And there's some PC games that I wouldn't mind having, the ability to play on console. Like, honestly, like I said, the consoles now, and especially next gen, they're like mid-tier PCs anyway. Especially with Microsoft, it's kind of inevitable. They want the cross-platform play anyway. They want you to be able to jump from console to PC, back and forth and play together and everything else. So, I think we're entering a phase with games where it's kind of like, how much exclusivity are you really? What is left?
Right.
How much of it is really left? There's just not. There's a few, but there's not very many. So.
And then maybe everybody get mods, man. I want some mods on everything.
Yeah. Some of these PC mods that I see, man, would be nice to have on a console, a console and it could handle it. Like, it could totally handle it, at least with the next gen, This one, if it's just regular Xbox One, I get it. But with these new consoles, man, powerful as they are, no reason why they shouldn't be able to handle it. Before I move on to the next subject, what do you think, Snake? Like, how do you feel about it?
Honestly, I can barely hear you. It's not because of you. It's because of the way I had to turn the volume down to where it's not such an echoing going on. So, and then I was listening in my headset to the live just to make sure everything was going good, and it was like a delay. So, wasn't really able to pick up on what you were talking about.
Well, that's disappointing.
But it's
well,
not. I mean, it's fine. Let's just keep going.
Well, fine, since you ain't got no opinion anyway.
No,
So
I'm getting
to
destroyed.
deal with that,
Okay.
we're gonna make sure that we keep you up to date. I'll keep you up to date on if that happens, because that could be. I think it could be a huge thing. It could, break down some walls that exist right now between PC and console, and I think it brings in a whole new market of players for Steam. Steam they've been around forever. They had tons of games that are released on Steam that are for PC. I think it draws in even more PC, even more console players to pick up on PC games. And I think it, like I said, creates a new market and a kind of a new niche thing for people to play, cross-platform. And with the ability to save on one and pick up the game on another is a big thing, because you can you can already do that now. The game I have with City Skylines, I have saved on my console, and once I got my gaming PC, I was able to, since I have Game Pass Ultimate, I was able to download the game on there. And then once I downloaded it and got all my stuff, even though it was the PC version, I could, when I opened the game, like when I turned it on, I loaded the game up, it had all of my maps from the cities I had made, and I could go to those and start it up. Everything was the same, but on the PC, it was larger. Like there's more tiles that I can buy to expand my city even further. So like those games where I had maxed out on the console, like maxed out how many tiles I could buy, it was expanded to the PC version where I think in the PC version you could have like 18 tiles or some weird number like that. Wow. So instead of just those 9, I had 9 additional that I could expand my city even further and make it like just ginormous. So it was pretty cool. Like, but it allows for cross save. And if I expand it on the PC, just because I expanded on the PC doesn't mean that I can't go back to the console. Now I won't be able to buy those same tiles on the console, but once I buy them on the PC, it's there. And then if I go back to the console, then I can play it. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, it was neat. It was a neat deal. So I think it allows for more stuff like that if they go ahead and do the whole Steam to console thing. I think it's gonna be good. Now, moving on to PlayStation. Yeah, I got some gameplay footage going, so I'm gonna turn it on while I talk about this, since we're talking about games. So PlayStation says that they have around about 25 games in development. Now, they didn't go into like huge detail about it, but they did say that they're working on 25 different games. Some of them are brand new IPs. They said over half of them, matter of fact, are new IPs. And I don't know necessarily how to feel about that. Like, I'll tell you one thing. I hope they all work. I'm going to say that first. I hope they all work, because broken games are ridiculous. And we already know Kaiser, that's his favorite term, broken game. But 25 games being worked on. Half of them are new IPs. And they're saying that, was it Naughty Dog? That's right. Naughty Dog is confirmed to be working on, or they're going to start working on a Last of Us remaster and another game that I think is supposed to play off of the Last of Us world. I'm not 100% sure. It wasn't a lot of detail, but for sure they're supposed to be doing a Last of Us remaster. So they're including that in the 25 new games, which, okay, because I was a huge fan of Last of Us. It's not a new game. I mean, I'm sure it's going to have a few new instances, or like they may change a few things. When they remaster, that's usually what happens. They'll they update graphics.
I don't understand.
They may change some dialogue, and then they'll add things here or there that weren't in the original, and try to make it.
Okay, well,
try to make it more interesting.
That's a good information.
So, Mr. Domingo, who is a PlayStation First fan, I'm not saying he hates everything else, but he is a PlayStation First fan. What is your opinion on these 25 games? I do believe you were telling me that you saw the same deal that I saw. So, what do you think?
Okay, so when it comes to the 25 games, I think I'm excited, but at the same time, I think this is just another. I love PlayStation, but I think this is another way of PlayStation just kind of keeping themselves in the limelight, because it's 25 games in development, right? So that can just totally mean that, oh, we just started working on a script for the game, or we just rendered a piece of land or a rock or what. We don't really necessarily know. We don't know if these are all side scrollers. We don't know if these are puzzle games. We don't know if these are big budget, 3D open world games. We really don't know, and then 25, that can be worlds of a way out. It could be that these games don't show up until the middle halfway of the console generation. So I'm really not sure. Now I do think that since they said half are new IPs, I do think that maybe 25, realistically we might see 10 in the next 2 or 3 years. I'm just because I know that we already have a couple of them on the way. We got I know for sure that the Spider-Man is going to come. They said something about a new Spider-Man game, the full game. So that's just probably Miles Morales and Spider-Man on the same game, and probably going to be co-op or something like that. It's probably going to be a bigger, more open world, more things to do. So I could see them doing that because Insomniac is already working on Ratchet and Clank, and which is also another game that's supposed to be coming out. So I'm sure that's just a way to kind of push forward the Spider-Man thing. And then also, they said Last of Us. Now, before I continue, the thing about The Last of Us, since that's the game that they said is coming out, I love The Last of Us, don't get it twisted. I like it, but I don't like the fact that they're doing a remaster so fast, because they did a remaster already at the beginning of the PlayStation 4 generation. They remastered, well, it wasn't a remaster. It was kind of completed. It was kind of like a remaster a little bit for the PlayStation 4 for the Last of Us when it came out at the end of the PlayStation 3 console generation. So I don't know. I mean, maybe they just want to look cooler or do more. I'm not sure how I feel about that one, because I don't think it's needed, because Last of Us 2 is still selling very well, honestly. So I don't think they need it, but who knows? They're probably doing that because the movie's getting ready to come out. Well, the show is getting ready to come out pretty soon, so
true.
Who knows? But I did hear that they were talking about doing some multiplayer stuff with The Last of Us. So maybe they want to try it there first. Maybe they're gonna remaster it and make it multiplayer so people can do that instead of being a single player. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. I don't know. And then they got other games like Horizon Zero Dawn and other stuff like that. So I do think that they're gonna have good games coming out. But I don't think that these 25 games are coming out soon. I think they're just trying to let you know that, hey, don't forget about us. We're still working on games. We're still gonna have games coming out. It may be a minute or whatever. So I think that's one of those things you need to take with a grain of salt. Like, that doesn't necessarily mean the game's gonna come out next year, all 25 or majority of them. Not even half. I would say that maybe 10, maybe 5 or whatever, and then maybe you're gonna see like some Easter eggs of the others, or some betas and some demos of the other games or whatever. But I don't think we're gonna get complete games. And then if Sony has learned anything from all the craziness that went on over the last 2 years, I'm pretty sure they're gonna take the Naughty Dog approach and take their time with their games, or at least I would hope they do that, because otherwise, since they just said they're gonna bet everything on their first parties anyway, you're gonna lose the thing. But also, that doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna be first parties, because they could just be publishing the games and have them go out to Xbox and Switch per se. So, but either way, I'm excited because I want to see what they come up with, because the companies that they have is Sony, Santa Monica, Insomniac, Naughty Dog, and a couple of others. And I know some of them do make stuff for other companies, so I'm excited. I'm really excited about that God of War. I want to see what they're gonna do with that, because the way they changed that game to being such story driven and very angsty, I would the Spider-Man game, because I want them just to kind of bring. I kind of would like to see, not just from PlayStation, but just from somebody, just from any of the consoles, that do first parties or third parties. I would like to see a brand new IP of open world MMO, but different. You know, kind of what we thought that Cyberpunk was going to end up being. Somebody needs to actually do that correctly, because I don't think we have a futuristic one yet. You know, everybody's still stuck with doing melee. Ain't nothing wrong with the melee, hack and slash. You know, I like it, magic, but I would like to see something futuristic that works. You know, something to kind of change the monotony. Because, you know, when you're competing against something like Elder Scrolls and, you know, Final Fantasy and WoW, it's like after WoW and Dragon Age, it's like you can't really. There's no more room for open world games like that. You know, now I know people might say, oh, what about Destiny, or what about, you know, Outriders? Outriders isn't necessarily an MMO, and neither is Destiny per se. So I would still say we need something in futuristic, but that's an MMO like that. That's what I would like to see, that IP wise, and then another fighting game, man. I mean, come on, somebody give us something brand new. Give me a new Tekken or a new Street Fighter, or just make up a brand. Matter of fact, give me Marvel vs. Capcom. Talk to Capcom. Give me that. Yeah. Bring that back. Bring it and make it based off of no, they tried to base off the MCU. They didn't do a good job. Just give us based off everything comics that's out right now and back then. Give us the original, old school, but revamped now, and just give us all that. Just give us all that. I want it all that. So I don't know. But you know, I'm excited. So you know, we'll see.
I'm with it. You got my attention when you said Marvel vs. Capcom. That needs to happen. That does need to happen.
Yes.
Need the new generation Marvel vs. Capcom. Like, period. Like, that needs to happen.
Plus, I still owe this guy. You know, he hates broken games. Yeah, I'm talking to you. I owe you a beatdown because you did that little, that Jean Grey Phoenix thing. No, I didn't know anything about that. Otherwise, I would have played you different. I'm up here with Dante. I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm got him. I'm doing all this stuff and everything. He playing all cautious, and I'm like, oh, he must be scared. I'm up here whooping him. I killed all his people. Next thing I know, Jean Grey OP. Her bar ain't moving at all. Ain't going down. Dead. Killed my person in like 2 hits. Next person, 2 hits. Next person, 1 hit. He over there laughing. Yeah, I owe you a beatdown. It's on. I owe you a beatdown. So it needs to come back so he can get that beatdown. That's not fair. I don't like it. I like it. I still owe him.
Talking to you, Mr. Kazi. Yeah, Kazi. He talking about you, bro.
Yeah. Cheating.
He owe you a beatdown because of the whole Phoenix.
Jean Grey. I ain't forgot.
Yeah, the whole Jean Grey thing. He said he owes you a beatdown for that. Yeah.
He don't even remember your fight, Kazu. I mean.
You don't even remember my fight. Oh, yeah, that hurts. That hurts.
You were that unimportant.
Well, no. My fight was very important. It's just that, you know how like you watching the show.
Off-road, so this is everybody good.
And the show is really good, but then the next show that comes after that is like even better. So my fight with Kaiser was extremely great. It was great. And if it would have ended on that note, the night would have ended and we would have been drinking or left or went to sleep, it would have been perfect. But Snake was like, no. My rematch needs to happen now. And they had a rematch right after my fight. And it was epic. And Snake won. And I think that's why my fight got kind of pushed to the side, because Snake had his rematch that same night.
That was that time when I won?
Yeah. It was the same night, and your fight was right after mine, so that's probably why he doesn't remember it, because you beat him and he's stuck on that. So it's kind of like an anime where he's chasing you and I'm chasing him type thing. So yeah, it's kind of like one of those. Like, I'm gonna kill Snake for what he did to me, and I'm like, I'm gonna kill Kyle for what he did to me. And like, who are you? Type thing. You know? So I don't know if that makes sense. Anime watchers out there, maybe I don't know anything about that, but maybe not.
No, but you know what? To piggyback off what you said about me and the 25 games and all of that stuff. I think it is a little bit of a. It's a little bit of a. What's the word? What's the term? Like it's a little bit of a. Like you said,
Of a stretch, or
they're kind of dangling fruit to try to distract people.
yeah.
What's going on? I mean, with them, you got Last of Us is one of the new games they're claiming, and then you're probably right about Spider-Man. You got probably some add-on to Miles Morales or like a remaster or this game that already technically exists. You're gonna have with that. Ratchet and Clank has already been a thing. I'm sure they're throwing that in there. So they're kind of bolstering their lineup a little bit with stuff that we kind of already knew about. But I mean, it's still good because we want those games. I mean, Ratchet and Clank, you want Ratchet and Clank. You want anything Spider-Man, please. I'm open to it. Please give me Spider-Man. But I mean, to call them like new, I mean, like it's brand new, like you haven't released this kind of, it's a little bit of a.
Is this the only car?
A tactic thing. Like it's not factual. It's just not completely factual. I guess I can say.
Yeah.
It's just, and that's why you pay. That's why you pay people to handle all your marketing, so you can make sure that you stay relevant, you sound relevant, and that's what they're doing. Yeah. So in that aspect, good for them, and please come with good games that work because we need that. We need that in life, like severely, especially on new consoles. Man, not enough damn games. Not even enough new consoles to play the damn games. I still can't get a new console.
I know, right?
Yes, that's a whole nother rant for another day because I'm still waiting on the damn console. Although Microsoft is, I didn't read there where Microsoft is. I'll throw that in there. They are to try to get around scalpers, to try to keep scalpers from screwing everybody over. They are offering the sales of the Xboxes that they're coming out with. They're offering them to Xbox insiders first. So like that insider program you have on your Xbox that you can sign up for, like they offer the sale of the Xboxes to them first to try to give them a chance to actually be able to purchase a system without it being, without there's somebody going, having a bot buy 12 brand new Xboxes as soon as they hit Walmart. They're trying to give people a chance, especially the dedicated people that have been playing, Xbox One this whole time and wanted a new console and couldn't get one. This is their way of trying to combat those people that.
Well, I got a real fix for that. I mean, okay, you know how like when you go on your PayPal or you do anything and then they say click these to show that you're a real human, all the street lights or all the bridges and stuff like that. They could do something similar, not necessarily like that, but what they could do is that they have it to where you have to enter your Game Pass ID if you're Microsoft or your PlayStation, Plus ID, and if you don't have that, you enter your email and your whatever your name is on Xbox or PlayStation, boom, 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 and then to just buy one, and then if you want to buy another one, you have to do that whole process again, and that whole process again. Therefore, if a bot is doing it, it's gonna push out random stuff because then they'll have because what Microsoft or what PlayStation would have to do, they would have to, at least this is how I see it, they would have to verify your account, verify your email or something like that. Now, if a bot is spitting that stuff out too quickly, it's going to mess up. It's not going to have real email addresses, and they can just say deny, and then they can't buy it because, it will have to. So, I don't know. I think they think these sites, you would think these sites will have stuff like that because, like I said, PayPal and all that kind of have security like that. So, I don't know. It's kind of weird, but that's the type of fix I would want. Like you said, Xbox Insider, that's a real good thing. So I hope they do that and whatever else. I think they should have been doing it, but whatever, it's all good.
I'm already trying to combat it, but it is what it is, and at least they're trying something. That's what I took it. It's like, hey, at least they're trying something because man, damn scalpers have just ravaged the stock of really not just Xbox, like PlayStation's, everything. They just went ballistic and just bought up everything. It was bad enough. I
Yeah.
knew console sales were going to be tough anyway because of the pandemic, because people were stuck at home and they had their kids there, and their kids about to drive them nuts. So it was easier for them to just say, "Okay, I'm gonna get you a day on PlayStation. Sit your ass in there." You know, and I get it. That part I get. I really do. But you know, these, like I said, these people, they're buying, you know, 4 and 5 PlayStations, 4 or 5 Xboxes, and then going online and telling them, "Oh, I got a PlayStation. You want $1,000?" Like, dude, seriously, like, come on, bro. I was just in Target and couldn't get a PlayStation because you're an asshole and went and bought all of them and then gonna turn around and try to sell them for $1,000 a piece.
Right.
You already have one at your house. You just went and bought some other ones so you could upcharge on them and make some money. Like, you're a dick. But you know, that's kind of the way of the world. You know, people are sorry like that. But anyhow, we're gonna move on to my. I feel like it's the most important piece of news, the piece of news that I found the most interesting that I found, and Migo also saw this one too.
Yeah.
So, Elder Scrolls has a new chapter in the, I'm calling it a year-long DLC because they've said that everything within this DLC is going to be like 1,000, like 1,000, be like all year long. It's supposed to take a year to get everything.
What? Wow.
Yeah. Well, it's they're releasing it in chapters or episodes. So
that means it's a big story.
Yeah, it's huge, a huge add-on story. The original add-on story was called Blackwood, and that's the name of the DLC. And now the add-on we got this time, we were just talking about it. What was that? Let me look real quick because I got it in my notes. Let me get on here and look. Where'd you be? It is called Deadlands and Damnation. That is the new add-on for the DLC, the next chapter, I guess, in the DLC. I know from watching the trailer, Domingo, you saw the same trailer. We know that you're going to be dealing with having to deal with the Daedric Prince or the Daedric, King or whatever. And you're trying to recover what looks to be these weapons that the prince was killed over. That's what I took away from it. He had them. And he inherited them, and then he was slain. But before they slayed him, he hid all 3 or 4 of these pieces or these weapons throughout Tamriel. So we're gonna have to. I'm assuming you're gonna have to try to go find all of this stuff throughout Tamriel. And it looked interesting. It looked like it's gonna have some interesting enemies. Like I said, the guy, the Daedric King or boss or whatever you want to call him. Excuse me. He's got this big, huge dude with 4 arms, and he looks vicious, man. He looks extra vicious. I'm interested in it. I have Elder Scrolls, and I have a lot of fun whenever me and Tyler and Kaiser and and JR all play it, and we have a good time, running around trying to do the new stuff. But as far as this, I think this story is gonna have me hooked. I still gotta do this one, and I gotta do the one previous that came out. Now they are released on different dates. June 1st, I think, is the release for PC, and then like the 6th or the 8th is the release for consoles, and that's for Xbox One, PS4, Xbox Series X, and PS5. They're going to release on the 8th. Now, you kind of jumped into what I wanted to talk to you about, because this is a topic that could have many opinions. In your opinion, do you think a year is way too long to have a story drawn out in a game and releasing it by chapter? Do you think that's too much?
No.
See. Okay.
I don't know. Like a year. I mean, if they spread it out like that, then it does keep you interested into the game, and but there's the people that like get through the first thing and then they're waiting like 2 or 3 months for the next one. You know, like so. I don't know. I see both. I see both angles on it, because like there's times where like we get into, like for instance, when we get into GTA or any of our games, like they just come out with DLC. We get in, we play, we're done. Like, okay, now we're done. The next one don't come out for a couple months, so we're going to go to another game.
Sorry.
You know, like that's just kind of how we do. But if at the same time, like I said, when they spread it out, like it's something that we know. Like, okay, well, we got a whole year of DLCs or like expansions on this one thing, so let's get through with this one. Then that way we'll have time when this one comes out. You know, we can plan it, but I don't know.
Those are definitely valid points. It is kind of rough for somebody that hops in, like plays the DLC real quick, beats it, and then it's like, okay, what's next? You know, it's like, damn it, this was too quick. You should have added more. Why did you not add more? And I'm like you, I understand why they're just adding it in sections, because it you know, number one, gives time for development. You know, that can't be lost. It, you know, gives them time to make sure that stuff is going to work right. But it also, you know, it kind of adds to the anticipation of the new.
Did y'all stop the races?
Thing. It gives that option for people to be like, oh man, are we gonna roll with this? Like, are we gonna get new stuff? Are we not gonna get new stuff? Like,
Did y'all stop the races?
It's kind of, it makes it interesting. It makes you anticipate it. It makes you want to wait for the next DLC. So I get that part of it. Now, Mingo, what do you think? Do you think it's too much, like too long for a year, or do you think that's
okay? Okay, me being a story-driven guy, and now I haven't played Elder Scrolls. I've seen it being played, watched a lot of it, and as I watch some other games or whatever. And what I can say is it depends, because I guess I'm the same as you guys. It depends because, first off, the story. This story seems like it's a really good one. For number one, it went back over how the king, how he ended up having being the king that he was. It talked about how the dark one, the one with the 4 arms, the little devil creature guy or whatever. I'm sorry, guys, I'm not a Elder Scrolls fan, so I don't know names. But how people for years were, you know, summoning and giving stuff to him, so in order to gain these powers and abilities. And then over time, it got to the point to where he wanted to keep his family the most powerful or dominant over the land. And then he made another pact with it to get those weapons. And then apparently, I guess he got betrayed or stabbed, betrayed, and then he got killed, but he hid the weapons all over. And like Hammer was saying, that's why now no one knew about the weapons until now. So now you got to go try to find those weapons and get them for yourself. But apparently, based off the trailer, I could be wrong about what these creatures are, but the way I perceived it, it seemed like these creatures were from the Dark One himself. Like that dark creature guy decided he wanted his, or maybe he wants to have, or whatever. So maybe he's sending these creatures down to get. That's what it looks like to me. I could be wrong. I could perceive that wrong. If y'all know, let us know in the comments. But that's what it seemed like to me. Now, based off that, I would say if you take a story that seems that good and mix it with like how Destiny did it, and with as far as like some of the difficulty that it had and some of the storytelling and the good storytelling, because I know it's a lot of bad. And even take some of the, not necessarily the repetitiveness of Division, but some of the,
doing like
some of the hard difficulty, not the spamminess, but the hard difficulty, and even some stuff from Monster Hunter, how tough some of the quests would be. That's what all three of those have in common. Because I remember, especially in Destiny days, when everybody was talking about one of the first or second dungeons, and everybody was talking about this one boss you had to fight. You had to have 3 people. You had to have 3 people to beat him. That was the only way. You go in with 2, there was no way you was gonna beat it. You go in with 1, there was no one was gonna beat it. Of course, someone eventually figured out how to beat it with 1, and they was like one of them super gamers, and they beat it. They was one of the ones who speed runners, sit there forever and play. That's their job. They probably play it all the time. But for the average player, even the average player as like Kaiser, who plays these games all the time, struggled with that certain dungeon, and they had, because you needed 3 or 4 people, and it took people a minute. It wasn't a week. Sometimes it took people 2, 3. Sometimes it took people a whole month to beat that dungeon, and so forth and so on. Same thing with Division. Other than the spamminess and the bullet sponginess, some of the missions took a minute because you had to go to this, you had to fight these people or whatever and all that. So I believe that if they do this within Tamriel, Elder Scrolls, and they have it to where the story is really good and engages you, and then the mission is hard to where you need a Kaiser, a Hammer, a Snake, a JR, and it takes all of y'all together to do all y'all parts together to solve this thing. Meaning that if Snake isn't available, y'all can go in with 3, but it's 9 times out of 10 you might lose. You can go in by yourself, Kaiser, and you're gonna lose. Then I think that can keep everyone going. But if they make it like, no offense to GTA, but a GTA mission other than the heist, because I think the heists were the most recent thing that I know of that really was so hard that it kept people coming back, because there were like 3 or 4 different ways you had to do it, and it took people a lot of time to figure out how to do these heists because the heists weren't that forgiving. But other than that, most of the GTA missions, I know people were able to kind of beat them pretty quickly. So if it's not like that and it's more like the first one I said, then I think it'll keep people coming back, because that means that for a whole month's time, possibly, it'll keep the average player, especially people coming home from work and trying to play the game, is going to keep you there for a whole month. And then by the time you finish it, the next one should be out, possibly, if they're trying to drop something every month. You know what I mean? But that's how I see it. If they're doing it that way, if the story's that engaging, and if the difficulty of the missions and dungeons and whatnot is that hard. Plus, you got to find those pieces of equipment. Who knows if they're going to break them up and say, oh, I found a piece of the equipment. And then it's like, well, dang, now I have to put this piece of equipment with that piece of equipment and put it together. Or maybe somebody can come in and take it, and it's like, oh, he took that equipment. We got to wait for it tomorrow at 6 to get back there, and then we got to get on it. We got to get on before 6 o'clock and play it in order to have a chance to get that piece of equipment. You know, stuff like that. If they do that and they do it well, I think it'll keep people interested. If not, then no. I think just like y'all said on the other end, it'll kind of get boring real quick. You'll kind of beat it. But at the same time, it doesn't need to be too hard. Because if it's too hard, making something like this work. So, I mean, y'all let me know. People in the comments, people on the games, you know. So, I don't know. So, y'all let me know. What y'all think? So.
All right. Well done. I agree with most of what you said, man. Like, I think no reason for me to elaborate. Like, you went into detail with it. And then that basically spelled what I was, like, you said what I was thinking about it, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to do that.
No, it's good. It's good. You know, that's what I want. I want the interaction, I want the conversation. Like, I want your true opinion. And if your opinion is the same as mine, then it's the same as mine. You know, it's a good thing. It means we're on the same page about some stuff. Yeah.
So do they do that in Elder Scrolls? Like I said, I haven't played it, so has the stuff been consistent in the past with some of the stuff, or no, or not?
Yeah, I mean, when they update, they usually have an update schedule, but it's not. We hadn't had like one DLC have chapters in it like this. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, it's not ridiculous. It's a good thing, but this one, I can't remember one where they had this many episodes, you know, going into one. It's beneficial that they, you know, take the time, do it right, and have, you know, a long drawn out experience, because it's going to make me keep wanting to come back to the game. Like, every time I see one, I'll be like, ooh, got to play Elder Scrolls. So, I mean, I think it's going to be good. Can't wait to the 8th so I can see exactly what's happening. Get in there and try to catch up, because right now, like I said, I'm behind. I didn't even get to do the last episode, so I got to do that one first and then do this new one. So there is that. But I think that is going to about wrap it up. Like I said, all of this information, if anything changes, make sure you stay up with our Facebook page and YouTube, as we are live on YouTube for the first time tonight. And I'm excited because I think it's awesome. And we're going to start building the audience over there like we have here on Facebook as well. Make sure you guys tune in. Continue to tune in with us. We're working out the kinks, you know what I'm saying? But it's all good. But make sure you tune in to TikTok and Mr. Snake over there, who's been quiet most of the show. We need to turn into his show, Nerdmation. He's gonna be getting back on top of it real soon. He's a busy man, like us all. We all have day jobs and adulting and whatnot. We want this to be a career, but it takes a little time. But we're getting there. We're gonna get there. But like I said, make sure you go ahead and like us on Facebook, follow us, because we're gonna definitely have the shows on here. And now that we can stream to YouTube, hop on over to YouTube, find our page. The page is Get Nerdy With Me, and go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell so you can get all the info and know when all of our live streams are coming up and know when all of our content will be uploaded. We're gonna definitely try to have some more gameplay stuff going on. I don't know what special things Mingo's got coming up. He's always thinking about stuff. He gets the wheels turning, man, and he's on it. So you never know what he might pop on with a whole movie review just right out the blue. It might be I know new Fast movies fixed to come out here pretty soon. I'm not saying that's what should happen, but the Fast movie is coming, and it's gonna have this dude, just like wrestler turned movie, that's not named Dwayne The Rock Johnson in it. He's turned movie star, so we're gonna have to see how he gonna do it. His first big role as the villain.
It might work out, So we'll see. We'll see. If you've seen the trailers already, you already know. Talking about John Cena, playing the bad guy, bad guy brother of Mr. Dom, Mr. Vin Diesel in the movie. So I am curious. And, we get my boy Han. That's more so why I want to see the movie, because my boy Han is in the movie. I want to know how Han is in the movie. Like, what the hell? Han was dead. I think we all thought Han was dead. And then he just like strolled in with his haircut. Like, how y'all want to do this? I'm like, oh, what the hell? There's Han. So maybe we might have something on that there show that belongs to that guy right there, Mingo D. Little prime time. Maybe it'll be prime time live. Maybe it won't be prime time live. You better keep your ears open. Keep your ears open. That's all I'm saying. No, but I'm rambling. I'm rambling, and I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to get a little time while I'm playing the game. Snake, you would have something to say. You ain't said nothing all show, and got something to say now about my outro. Forget you and talk about my outro, sir. I want to talk to the people because that's what we're supposed to do.
The reason why I wasn't talking, sir.
No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Y'all hear this man? See what I'm saying? I'm plugging his show and he tripping. But anyway, I have gone way too long with this outro. But like I said,